Repurposing Family Clan Organizations in Times of Crisis, Part 4. Choose your visionary leader. Hello, Ferrer Clan members, C-Clan members, and hello to the rest of our YouTube audiences that are interested in genealogy, family clan history, and family clan management. I'm Joel Sy-Serate Ferrer, and in this video, I'd like to share some thoughts on why it's very important to choose a visionary leader before the other leaders, right? First, a visionary leader in your repurposed family clan or even your pandemic-related project. But before we get into the topic for today, let's try to review some of the previous topics that we have discussed in the first 3 vlogs in this series. So in part 1, we stressed the need for family clan organizations to repurpose themselves. As you know, family clan organizations have been originally designed as reunion machines, right? But because of this crisis, because we're in crisis mode right now, we have no choice but to repurpose our organizations in order to meet some of the pressing needs that our family members have caused by this pandemic. And I suggested you come up with a survey of the top 3 needs and the kind of resources that we have that could help us meet these needs, and to come up with a plan based on these 2 things. Now, in order to come up with a good inventory of resources, if you look at part 2, I also recommended you come up with a database, a family list, family directory, right? Because our human resources, these are the most important resource that our organization has. So if we have a database, family list, a directory, this can definitely help in our inventory. And then after part 2, we move on to part 3, where I recommended that you tap a bigger organization. Like if it happens that your family clan is a member of a bigger family organization known as a federation, maybe you could go to that federation and ask for resources that they could contribute to your particular project and hopefully amplify the effects of your particular pandemic-related project. Okay, so let's look at a simulated example just to give you an idea of how it might work. So let's say in part 1, when you try to identify your needs, let's say you came up with 3 needs. First would be health needs. A lot of family members are sick. Second would be job needs. A lot of family members are in need of jobs. And the third would be livelihood needs. Okay, so health needs. Do we have a lot of doctors, medical people in our clan? You look at your database. So I'm sorry, but we can't do this. What about the second one? Job needs, employment needs. You look at your database. Do you have a lot of HR managers? No, not that much. Besides, the job market has tremendously shrunk because of the pandemic. So I don't think we'd work with that. Sorry. What about the third one? Livelihood needs. Maybe this is something we can work on, especially online livelihood, because the online community has hardly been affected by the pandemic, despite social distancing and other restrictions. So okay, let's go for an online livelihood project. So you go to your database once again, and it turns out that you were able to discover a couple of online sellers as well as online manufacturers from your family clan. That's pretty good. Okay, so you move on to part 3. You're part of a family clan federation. You ask your family clan federation, please help us. This is our livelihood project. We're planning to put up an online livelihood project. And it turns out, just for example purposes of example, that let's say the founder of Lazada is a member of the federation and he decides to help out by providing institutional support. Okay, so part 1, part 2, part 3, pretty good. So far so good, right? Now, you're about to form your management team. Like I said, there are many kinds of leaders in a clan, and maybe in the next video I'm going to talk about them, but the very first leader that I strongly recommend you need to get is a visionary leader. Okay, so what is a visionary leader? According to the Cambridge Dictionary, a visionary leader is a person who has the ability to imagine how a country, society, industry, etc. will develop in the future and to plan in a suitable way. Okay? Why is it important that you need a visionary leader? Well, because you have repurposed your clan. And a lot of clan members are not familiar with the new normal, So you need someone who's articulate enough, okay, to share the new vision for the clan. All right? And not only that, the visionary leader has to be able to motivate the bulk of the family clan's workforce. So if you look at the age pyramid here, most of the volunteers that you'll have from the family clan will come from the bottom part, right? The base of the pyramid, young people. Okay. So I also mentioned that he has to be a poster boy. okay? Because a lot of young people respond to images, and we're going to see that later on. So to give you a better example of how this can work out, we're going to look at an actual family plan and an actual visionary leader that has been tapped to help recruit the young people in his clan, okay? So let's look at this next slide. Here. Okay. This is an online article from the online magazine CNA Luxury. This is the link. You might want to check it out. It's a very nice article. And the title of the article is How This Millennial Lawyer is Shaking Up Singapore's Chinese Clan Association. See, now, in the previous slide, I mentioned that the visionary leader has to be a poster boy. You remember these traditional posters of the US Army where you have Uncle Sam in the poster and he has a finger pointing at you and he says, I want you, you know. Imagine, instead of Uncle Sam, you have the image of that visionary leader pointing at the younger generation. I want you, I want you. I want you to be part of this pandemic project. I want you to be part of this repurposed family clan. Okay? So let's see. Does this millennial lawyer qualify as a poster boy? Let's scroll down and find out. Well, what do you think? Well, it says here, Stanley Ng, Instagram. Well, for goodness sake, he's a millennial. He has Instagram. So definitely he knows, you know, the power of visuals. So yeah, he's a poster boy. Now, a little disclaimer here. I personally don't know his family clan association, the Huang Clan Association. I also don't know Stanley Ng. So whatever assessment I'm going to give here is based purely on the information that I get, that we can get from this article, okay? So check out this article, and if you have other information about the Huang Clan Association or Stanley Ng, please let me know. But let's see how this interesting project turns out. So Stanley Ng, according to this article, is 35 years old. And he is the, okay, what's his position in the organization? He's the Secretary General of the Huang Clan Association Youth Committee. Youth, the bulk of the volunteer workforce of the family clan, right? Now, aside from being a high-profile lawyer, he is into this, fostering stronger communities with this NGO that organizes Chinese New Year feasts for migrant workers. It's a nice gesture, you know. There's a lot of migrant workers come to Singapore, and other countries for that matter, but they're lonely, you know, they don't have family members to celebrate Chinese New Year with. So if you have, let's say, an open door in this NGO for migrant workers, that's a very good gesture. That's a very good advocacy to have for a Chinese family clan. All right, so what else do we know about him? Well, he studied in Australia, pretty good blend of East and West, and he is fluent in several dialects, but occasionally code switches to twang out phrases in an Aussie accent. Very important. You need to be a transnational visionary leader because you're dealing with a transnational clan. Now, if you remember when I did that video comparing the Ferrer clan and the Sy clan, I also mentioned that these two clans, the Ferrers and the Sys, are also transnational families. They have family members all around the world, in different countries. The specific countries have been mentioned in that video, so check it out. Transnational, just like the Rothschilds family clan and the Sassoon family clan. Okay, so the Huang clan qualifies as transnational, and we can see it in the poster boy. And what else? This is something interesting, this quote. My dad used to drag me along for clan association events as a kid, which I absolutely hated. How many of you can relate to this? Raise your hand. Yes. Why? Because let's face it, the common perception of a clan association is that it's a bunch of old fogies drinking tea and talking about the old times in their clan house. I can relate to that. But what did the Huang Clan Association do? They have repurposed, redesigned, reinvented their clan to suit the needs of the new millennium. So gone are the old folks. Well, they're still there, but they're not here. They're not on Instagram. What's on Instagram is this poster boy, Attorney Stanley Ng, right? They have reinvented themselves, okay? And this is more or less the case in the past, as the old guards have a traditional way of doing things. Another interesting trait about attorney Stanley Ng is this. See, I see myself as a conduit between youths and elder clansmen with vastly different ideas. The ability to bring stakeholders together and align their interests translates into my corporate law practice too. I mean, lawyers are supposed to have exceptional communication skills. So, yeah, it's very important for your visionary leader to cross the bridge between the young people and the old people, to let them communicate through you, basically. And he fits the bill. So let's try to sum up what are the good traits based on this article, based on our limited apprehension of Attorney Stanley Ng. First, he's a good mix of East and West and speaks several languages. It's important to be transnational. It's important to be global during this particular period in time, right? Second, he can mix both with the highbrow crowd and the lowbrow crowd. Remember, he works for the NGO that deals with migrant workers, okay? And third, he is a very good conduit between the young people of the clan as well as the old people of the clan, okay? So next time somebody invites, you know, a typical clan member of the Huang clan to join the family reunion, and they say, what? Huang clan, I don't want that. I don't want that. We have old fogies, old people. But, you know, just show them the face of Mr. Poster Boy on Instagram. And when they see him, oh, hello, family clan. That's going to be the reaction. Okay? So, like I said, I don't know the Huang Clan Association personally. I don't know Stanley Ng personally, but I wish them the best of luck in their experiment. I salute you on your attempt to repurpose, redesign, and reinvent your family clan. And for the rest of the YouTube viewers, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next clan video.